General Hospital today will reveal. The latest developments in General Hospital have taken a treacherous turn, unraveling a plot that could permanently fracture the Quartermaine family and push Tracy Quartermaine into a battle ruthless than she's ever fought before. The revelation that Michael Corinthos may have been set up and subsequently arrested is more than a personal betrayal. It's a political act of vengeance that threatens to dismantle trust within one of Port Charles's most powerful dynasties. With Tracy being known for her unyielding loyalty to the Quartermaine name and her refusal to allow anyone to exploit or tarnish its legacy, Michael's legal troubles might ignite her wrath in unexpected and terrifying ways. Especially when all clues point toward Willow Kane as the architect behind Michael's sudden downfall. For Tracy, this isn't merely about a grandson being accused. It's about someone using Quartermaine property, bloodlines, and legacy as weapons in a silent war for parental control and personal dominance. From what GH fans have witnessed, the tension has been building for months. Tracy, always vigilant and calculating, had quietly obtained the key to Scout's home, a move that allowed her to gain access to Drew Kane's residence. Ostensibly, her motive was to retrieve Quartermaine family heirlooms, artifacts steeped in generations of family pride. But even as she carried those objects out under the pretense of protection, there was an undercurrent of suspicion about her real intentions. That unease proved well-founded when Martin Gray stepped into the shadows of the plot. It was Martin who made the next move, removing the spare key from Tracy's possession and ultimately passing it along to Willow, perhaps unknowingly aiding in what would soon become an act of betrayal that tore through the fabric of family and trust. The handoff may have appeared trivial at the time, an exchange cloaked in civility, but it was the final puzzle piece that enabled Willow to execute her scheme with chilling precision. Willow's motivations, while not spoken aloud, have become glaringly obvious. Discontent with the 60-40 custody arrangement that left Michael with significant rights over their children, she seemingly decided that compromise was not enough. Instead of continuing negotiations or seeking a legal recalibration, Willow chose a darker route, manipulating a situation that could land Michael behind bars. By attaching the stolen house key to Drew's residence onto Michael's key ring, she manufactured the evidence needed to implicate him in a breaking and entering case involving the very heirlooms that Tracy had first removed. The result was swift and effective. Michael became a suspect in a crime involving in his own family's property, the victim of an orchestrated setup meant to strip him of his credibility and parental rights. What makes Willow's actions more unsettling is she didn't just risk Michael's freedom. She risked his name, his children's emotional security, and the very foundation of their shared history. And all of it was done behind a mask of maternal concern. The implications of Michael's arrest are already sending shockwaves through Port Charles, but it's Tracy Quartermaine's reaction that could determine what comes next. Known for her cunning and her fierce protection of anything associated with the Quartermaine name, Tracy will not sit idle while the family legacy is weaponized against itself. Once she pieces together the trail of betrayal from the missing key to the staged evidence, Tracy is unlikely to show mercy. Her loyalty to Michael, complicated though it may be, will pale in comparison to her fury at having the family's internal resources manipulated to serve an outsider's vendetta. If she includes that Willow orchestrated this entire scenario, she may very well decide that Willow must be punished, not just personally, but legally and publicly. Tracy's concept of justice is often ruthless, and her retaliation could include discrediting Willow's medical career, pushing for a custody challenge on Michael's behalf, or even Willow charged with criminal misconduct. For Tracy, the end justifies the means, especially when the Quartermaine legacy is at stake. This story is not just a tale of betrayal, it's a warning. In the world of General Hospital, power is often disguised as love, and revenge is cloaked in the language of protection. Willow's descent into manipulation shows that even those who claim to act for their children's well-being can be driven by personal bitterness and strategic ambition. Michael, once a symbol of resilience and moral clarity in Port Charles, now faces the possibility of losing everything because someone he trusted most exploited his proximity and his vulnerability. And Tracy, though not always beloved, may become the unexpected avenger fighting not for Michael's soul, but for the honor of a name that cannot afford another scandal. As the battle lines form, one truth becomes inescapable: this isn't over. And when Tracy strikes back, Port Charles will never be the same. Tracy Quartermaine may have allowed many transgressions to slip through the cracks over the years, But what Willow did to Michael will not be one of them. As fierce as she is calculating, Tracy is not the kind of woman who forgives quietly. Nor does she let acts of betrayal go unanswered, especially when it threatens the Quartermain name and legacy. The moment Tracy receives an update about the latest developments in Michael's legal predicament, including the role of the mysterious key that served as the cornerstone of the police's case against him, she will begin to put the puzzle together. The timeline, the access to the suspicious circumstances, it all leads to one conclusion. Willow orchestrated the entire thing. And she used the spare key Tracy once possessed to do it. That realization will not just ignite Tracy's fury, it will awaken her most dangerous instincts. Because this time it's not just about a grudge or a family feud, it's about justice control. And a desperate need to remind everyone in Port Charles that no one manipulates the Quartermains without consequence. As she processes the information, Tracy will recall the exact moment Martin Gray removed the key from her possession and how conveniently it ended up, with Willow who had every motive to use it as a weapon. Michael's arrest will serve as the final straw, exposing the trap that was carefully set up to sabotage not only his freedom but his reputation as a father and as Quartermain. Tracy's anger won't be a quiet one. It will churn beneath her usual veneer of composure, masked only long enough to strategize her next moves. She might start by reaching out to the police in an attempt to clarify the situation, pointing out the suspicious trajectory of the key and the fact that Willow, not Michael, had access to it. However, her credibility will likely be questioned, especially considering her previous efforts to protect Michael from legal scrutiny. To the authorities, it may seem as if she's spinning a new story simply to shield her grandson once again. That skepticism, no matter how frustrating for Tracy, won't deter her. If anything, it will embolden her resolve to expose Willow in a way that the police cannot ignore. Knowing that Martin was a key figure in the key's transition, Tracy may turn her attention to him next. Despite their professional detachment, Tracy is fully capable of applying the type of pressure only someone with her history, influence, and resources can wield. She'll make it clear to Martin that his silence would make him complicit in the scheme. Whether through threats, leverage, or a moral appeal, Tracy will push him to confirm what he knows about the chain of custody regarding the spare key, particularly if he has the reason to suspect that Willow used it for her own agenda. Martin's role in this is crucial. If Tracy can secure his testimony or documentation linking Willow to the key, it could provide the foundation for dismantling the false narrative that now threatens to imprison Michael. Meanwhile, the timing of events will start to raise eyebrows in law enforcement. Detectives may review the sequence of how the key became part of the evidence against Michael and realize that it was placed on his key ring shortly after Willow came into possession of it. That detail alone could make the case appear suspiciously orchestrated, especially when examined alongside Willow's recent frustrations regarding the custody arrangement. However, suspicion is not proof, and that is where Tracy may find herself backed into a corner, convinced of the truth but unable to present undeniable evidence. The police might consider the theory plausible, but without hard forensic proof directly linking Willow to the setup, they may be unwilling to pursue charges or drop the case against Michael entirely. Tracy will know this. She will understand the necessity of going beyond speculation. Still, Tracy has one more weapon in her arsenal: forensic logic. If law enforcement is methodical enough to analyze the key itself, they may find that it bears Willow's fingerprints, not just on the surface but pressed into the metal in a way that suggests direct handling rather than casual contact. Such evidence would significantly strengthen Tracy's claim and could shift the focus of the investigation. But even this approach isn't without risk. If Willow anticipated that possibility, she may have worn gloves or wiped the key clean before planting it. On the other hand, if she underestimated the scrutiny of the Quartermains and the Port Charles Police Department, then that oversight could become her undoing. Tracy will not rest until the scales are balanced again. To her, this isn't just about Michael's freedom, it's about integrity, legacy, and making sure the Quartermain name doesn't become a pawn in someone else's personal vendetta. Her fight will be relentless, a calculated chess match waged in police departments, courtrooms, and boardrooms alike. And if Willow thought she could outmaneuver a Quartermain, especially one as shrewd as Tracy, she may soon discover the true cost of that gamble. Because Tracy doesn't just retaliate, she annihilates. And for Willow, who once claimed to love Michael, the price of betrayal may soon come due in ways she never imagined. The Port Charles Police Department has never been known for its infallibility. And in a town like this, where alliances shift and truths are often buried beneath personal motives, their investigative lapses are nothing new. So it comes as no surprise that the fingerprint analysis on the incriminating key planted on Michael Corinthos might be permission, not even be conducted at all. The PCPD's inconsistency in procedure creates a dangerous loophole, one that allows well-crafted manipulations to slip through undetected. And for someone like Willow, who cloaked her betrayal in maternal concern and legal ambiguity, that margin of error is her greatest ally. But not if Tracy Quartermain has anything to say about it. For Tracy, this is more than just a legal misstep, it's a personal affront. And once she confirms that the duplicate key she once guarded has been used to frame her grandson, there will be no turning back. It's the ultimate insult a woman once trusted with a place in the family has used Quartermain property to orchestrate Michael's downfall. And for Tracy, that may very well be the moment when vengeance becomes an imperative.